It seems like we are at a point where we have a solution in search of a problem. Unfortunately for the American people, when they send us to DC, they want us to solve problems. And so while I hear my colleagues on the other side of the aisle claiming that this is about protecting children, let's talk about the fact that children are not protected in so many ways right now. We can talk about gun violence, which I'll never want to talk about, because our kids are being killed. And frankly, if you look at the numbers, if I was to ask you and you decided you wanted to be honest about whether or not more children are killed in their schools because of gun violence versus children dying because of issues like this, if you tell the truth, you'll know that gun violence is killing our children. You'd also understand the importance of making investments into things such as mental health. And when we look at the actual numbers as it relates to mental health and what these types of bills do to our children, let me give you some facts, because I don't want to operate on feelings. I want to operate on facts. Trans youth face some of the highest suicide risk of any other youth groups in this country. Nearly half of trans and non-binary young people seriously consider attempting suicide each year. The actual number is 46%, but I don't see y'all trying to propose anything to make sure that we can assist these children. Suicide actual attempts. We know that a study showed that 1 in 5 trans or non-binary youth have attempted suicide just in the past year. Over their lifetimes, up to 40% of transgender individuals report suicide attempts. And states that passed laws banning gender-affirming care saw suicide attempts by transgender youth increase by up to 72%. So if you want to protect children and youth, maybe consider what is actually happening. You are absolutely not protecting their mental health, and you're absolutely not providing mental health resources, because we know that Republicans hate to put money into mental health, but they blame every travesty that we see on mental health. We also know that measles, which unfortunately have started to kill children in this country because it's back on the rise, y'all haven't decided to have a hearing or pass a bill to make sure that we could eradicate measles, which was eradicated before the Republicans got back in control. TB is up. Whooping cough is up. Listen, Pramila asked earlier, why are we doing this? I can tell you, we're doing this because the midterms are coming. And you don't want to talk about the actual problems, because you guys are the ones that have caused the vast majority of the problems that we're dealing right now. If some people don't want to talk about measles or whooping cough, we can just talk about the fact that the vast majority of the country right now is scared to eat lettuce because they believe that they may start pooping and can't stop. Now, I didn't even know that this existed, but this is where we are. We are at the point that y'all are so careless with who it is that runs the CDC, and y'all are so reckless that from our farmers and ranchers not knowing whether or not their cattle is going to survive, or literally people saying, I can't eat the berries and the salad because I may not be able to get off the toilet. I think it's actually very symbolic of kind of how most Americans feel. We are in a very pooing place right now in this country. In all seriousness, though, we got a lot of things that we could be solving. And I can guarantee you, if you go knock a door right now and ask your constituents whether or not they want to be concerned about Ebola, which has come back around again, or whether they want to be concerned about the fact, because of Elon and his recklessness as it relates to USAID, we know that there is an increase in HIV globally right now. I can tell you that there are some medical conditions that people care about in this moment. The fact that cancer research dollars have been cut. There's a lot that we could be doing, and I would really want to engage in a real conversation. But going after trans children is just a campaign spiel for you because it has worked in the past. But I can tell you right now that the American people understand that y'all are not serious people in this moment. And therefore, the midterms are coming. And the Democrats, we gonna talk about this pooey situation that y'all got us into.